Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Australia Day. My name is Alice Mackenzie, and together with Alberta Alissi and Elijah Flint, it is our pleasure to be your MCs for today's ceremony. We are the school captains at Naracoorte High School.
On behalf of the Naracoorte Lucindale Council, we warmly welcome you all. A big thank you to the service groups and community members who have provided delicious breakfast this morning. Please put your hands together for them all.
Would the Scouts and Guides please assemble for the raising of the Australian flag? Please stand for the national anthem. The two verses of the national anthem are printed in your programs.
Australians are, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth untold. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, all beauty.
To come forward for the acknowledgement of country.
Good morning and welcome everybody. What a great day. We acknowledge and respect the traditional owners of the ancestral lands. Naracoorte was a meeting place of people of the southeast, just as we are today. The Bowendick to the south, the Mine Tongue to the west, ranging from Kingston, the Potterwitch to the north, and the Matty-Jarley on the eastern side, ranging from the Little Desert in Victoria. We acknowledge elders past and present, and we respect the deep feelings of attachment and relationship of Aboriginal people to country. And you are seated. Thank you for joining us in our special celebrations for Australia Day this year. Australia Day is a day to reflect, respect and celebrate. It's about our ever-evolving story of our nation, our history, our identity and most of all, our people. Australia Day is a day that reminds us of the common bond that we share as Australians, connected by a desire for unity and the promise of safety, stability and prosperity. As Australians, there is much of which we can be proud. Our democracy, first and foremost. Our shared values, the strength, diversity and generosity of our people, and our beautiful natural environment. Australia Day is about so much more than events of one day. It is about who we are as a nation and what we aspire to be. We have received apologies today from our federal member for Barker, Mr Tony Passon, the state member for MacKillop, Mr Nick McBride, both of whom pass on their best wishes for a successful event. Hang on, have I missed a page? I don't believe so. Thank you. I am now delighted to introduce our guest speaker for this year's Australia Day ceremony, Dr. Barney McCusker. Barney is well known and highly regarded orthopaedic surgeon in the Limestone Coast, based at Mount Gambier, who has undoubtedly treated some of you here today, including myself and 3 members of my family. Born and educated in Adelaide, he studied at the University of Adelaide School of Medicine from 1971 through to 1976. He became a Fellow of the Royal Australasian College of Surgeons in 1984 and was admitted to the Commonwealth Register, Royal National Hospital, London in 1985. Barney began orthopaedic practice in Mount Gambier Hospital in 1986 and is still practicing today. Until 2 years ago, he was an examiner for the Royal Australasian College of Surgeons in Orthopaedics for 9 years. Please welcome our guest speaker, Barney McCusker.
Welcome. 3.5 million years ago, Lucy climbed down from a tree in Ethiopia and surveyed the landscape. She and her ilk were the first hominids and the ancestors of all of us here today. We know a lot about Lucy. We have 40% of her skeletal remains. She was about 3 foot tall, didn't have great hands, but she stood erect, and she and her ilk started the evolution of what we are today. Over the next 3 million years, the hominids evolved through a variety of Homo categories. Homo heidelbergensis, erectus, ergaster, pekinensis, robustus and others. And then finally, 160,000 years ago, arose Homo sapiens, thinking man. That's us. And they came from Central Africa and they spread out that 10,000 throughout the world. So that 10,000 now became over 7 billion. But we're all the same. We're all the same from the same breeding stock. That 7 billion now look and sound differently. They have a variety of customs. They have a variety of beliefs. They have a variety of music and a variety of cuisines. But that's 7 billion people around the world from that 10,000 are all essentially the same. And the 3 fundamental features that hold us and define us as Homo sapiens is firstly, our use of fire. Secondly, our love of technology. We love our technology. But the most important feature which holds us all together is our ability to love one another and care for each other as a community. So each and every one of you who's come to Australia now over the last 65,000 years or over the last 200 years is from the same group. We are all the same. And as such, they have come across the sea. So in that respect, we are all boat people. In my own case, I bring Scottish, Irish heritage, but also due to the behaviour of King Edward I of England, I bring Jewish heritage because he persecuted the Jews of London so that they moved north and integrated perfectly with the people of Scotland because of their shared values of family, music, culture, humour, financial management, you might say. So that's really the instigation, that we are all the same. Each and every one of us brings our own unique story of your ancestry, encompassing your own culture, your music, your community, your customs, your humour, and particularly your cuisine. So in coming to Australia, in the Great Southland, which I believe is the greatest country on earth, a little biased there, what we do is we make Australia richer. We make Australia more colourful, more evolved. We just make Australia a greater nation. So in welcoming our new arrivals today, I just simply say, welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barney. And thank you, Barney. And a small gift. A small gift.
Thank you very, very much.
You'll have to share it.
I'll share it, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. So as Barney makes a quick dash for the chair, a lucky recipient of a couple of bottles of wild game to see him through the rest of the weekend, which I'm sure he will share with friends and family. It's now with great pleasure that we present this year's Naracoorte Australia Day Awards, and so I invite Mr. David Steadman, Chris Malley, Anne Emerson, Emma Gallagher, Glenn Matheson, and the representatives from the Naracoorte Caves and Friends of the Naracoorte Cemetery volunteer group to join us on stage. Please. Yep. Please have a seat. There you go. No, please sit down. Please sit down. This year, Naracoorte has an incredible 7 award recipients, including Joint Citizens of the Year recipients. All of these awards are proudly presented by the Australia Day Council of South Australia and administered by the Naracoorte Lucindale Council. The awards acknowledge the unsung heroes of our community who, through their contributions, make our community a better place. These individuals, organisations, and groups offer outstanding service each day and enable our community to be stronger as a result of their tireless efforts. Now it is with great pleasure that I present our first awards to David Steadman and Chris Malley, who are joint recipients of the Naracoorte Citizen of the Year Award. David, I firstly invite you to come forward and share just here, momentarily, while I read a citation, David. It's long. David is being recognised for his outstanding contribution to the Naracoorte community. He goes above and beyond through his role as community pharmacist and is a current and long-standing member of many boards, including the Naracoorte Area Health Advisory Council, the Longridge Aged Care Board, and the Naracoorte South Australian Four-Wheel Drive Club. David's nomination for the award says, people like David fly very much under the radar, with the general public having no knowledge of the effort put in behind the scenes. His manner, compassion and honesty in his pharmaceutical business is beyond reproach. His long working days don't end when he locks the pharmacy door behind him. On the way home, he can be seen checking on clients who are in hospital, at home or in a retirement village, before finally getting home to start his homework of putting together Webster's packs for the next day. He has been a board member of the Longridge Aged Care for the past 20 years, where his experience and care has been invaluable in dealing with care packages and the elderly. David is also became a member of the Naracoorte Health Advisory Council 12 years ago, and again, his involvement in the health system allows him to give much valued opinion from a different perspective. With the huge pressure of work and many voluntary community hours, David needed some time out, so he became an inaugural member of the Naracoorte South Australian Four-Wheel Drive Club. He was the Vice President and the Public Officer from inception and has been a valued member of the board for the last 14 years. Congratulations, David, and I invite you to take this opportunity to respond. And here we are. There we go. Congratulations. And please.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. What can I say? It's great to be here in Naracoorte. I'm a product of my parents, Mum and Dad, were both very caring people. Grandma and Grandpa were both very caring people, and I was finished off by my wife. And between every good man, there's a good woman. Someone that puts up with the late nights, the early mornings, and maybe the occasional grumpiness. Yes, I mean, I've always enjoyed what I do, love helping people, and I work with a huge number of people across a big, what's the word? Big wide range in health. A lot of people from all areas, and I find if I got a problem with a person, I can phone up almost anyone, and they'll come and, if it's out of my area, they'll come and help me. I mean, it's very proud to be up here to sharing this position equally with Chris Maley, and Chris is someone that I have respected very greatly for a long time myself. But I think you do what you do, and then eventually you do it for long enough that someone notices you and puts your name forward, and here we are. And it's a very humbling, very proud moment. Thank you so much. And to the people of Naracoorte.
Chris, I now invite you to come forward. And you've prepared something.
I can't remember things these days.
This is Chris Maley. Chris has been recognised for his outstanding contribution to the entire Upper South East community, particularly through his role in the development of the Upper South East Domestic Abuse Program. In his role as the Family Violence Intervention Officer for the Upper South East with SAPOL, Chris recognised that there was an urgent need for support for victims of domestic violence. With his leadership and the help of community members, the Upper South East Domestic Abuse Support Program was created to provide immediate available funding to support victims of domestic violence in emergency situations. The support program does not receive any government funding and relies solely on money raised from local donations and fundraising. Registered domestic violence support services can then apply for funds to assist their clients. Local support for the Upper South East Domestic Abuse Support Program has been strong since its inception, with Chris leading the way to secure many donations from businesses, service clubs and individuals. Chris is now working on a preventative initiative and, in partnership with AC Care, SAPOL, the Naracoorte High School, the support program has been working closely to introduce Love Bites, Respectful Relationships program into the school commencing this year, 2025. Chris is also working hard behind the scenes with a view to creating a domestic violence offender program. Since moving to Naracoorte in 2010, Chris has been an active community member beyond his work engagements, setting up initiatives to assist vulnerable community members, including providing support, intervention and guidance to disengaged local youth. Chris has been a member of numerous committees, is a member of the Naracoorte Lions Club and has led the Upper South East Domestic Abuse Support Program for the last 2 years. Last year, Chris was named the 2024 South Australian Police Officer of the Year in recognition for his work with the Upper South East Domestic Abuse Support Program. Congratulations, Chris, and I'd also invite you to take this opportunity to respond. Thank you, Chris. Here we go. A little pin. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and what a beautiful, beautiful morning it is. It's made even better, of course, by all the hard work Naracoorte Council and indeed the Lions put in to make and facilitate today's events. Thank you so much to Josie Collins and crew and to the Lions Club. It's a privilege to be standing amongst such remarkable people. It's also an honour to share this award with such a pillar of our town, David Steadman. And between you and I, it's also fantastic to be standing alongside somebody who is my height for once. It really doesn't happen very often. Of course, today's awards don't take anything away from so many people we all know who contribute so much to our town and to others. I feel personally very touched to be here with so many caring, kind and compassionate people that collectively we call our community. Amanda and I moved to Australia in 2009, and it's fair to say that most mornings whilst walking the dogs, we acknowledge how lucky we are living and working amongst some truly great people. As a police officer, I work in family, domestic and sexual violence. Over the last couple of years, the police and our community have created a very unique and exceptional partnership in the form of the Upper South East Domestic Abuse Programme. This programme has helped so many victims and survivors of domestic violence, regardless of gender, and allowed people to escape unsafe situations, providing them with a safe passage to a new life. The outcomes of this partnership have been truly outstanding. But this is only one example of how strong and united our community is. I see firsthand how people deliver such generosity and kindness to others who are at their most vulnerable. Now, whether you celebrate Australia Day or not, it is still a day of unity for everybody in some form. For me, today is a day to take a moment and appreciate how lucky I am to have great friends, to live in such a safe community with people who genuinely care. So it is with that in mind, I share this award with the community, with senior officers of the South Australian Police, with Erica Vickery and the Naracoorte Lucendale Community Care Network, each and every business, sporting club, domestic violence support service and service groups such as the Lions. And indeed to the committee of the Domestic Abuse Programme as they continue to have such a positive impact on people's lives. Ladies and gentlemen, this award is recognition of a community working together in partnership addressing domestic violence in the Upper South East. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Alice, Alberta and Elijah.
It is with great pleasure that we present the Naracoorte Active Citizenship Award to Anne Emerson. Anne is being recognized for her outstanding contribution to the Naracoorte Regional Art Gallery through her role as board member and volunteer over a number of years. Anne is always volunteering her time over and above her regular rostered volunteer times. In addition, she will be at every opening night helping out where she can. Anne's nomination for the award says she will step in when nobody else is available. And without her, the art gallery would have to close its doors several times a month. Congratulations, Anne. We invite you to take this opportunity to respond if you'd like to.
Anne says she's too shy. Open opportunity.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Ignore that. It is now with great pleasure that we present the Naracoorte Young Citizen of the Year Award to Emma Gallagher. Emma is being recognised for her outstanding voluntary contributions to the community, particularly to the Naracoorte P&A Society Show Committee and the South East Dressage Club. For the last 2 years, she has been the convener of the Horses in Action at the Naracoorte Show. In 2023, the Horses in Action was set up to be cancelled, but Emma was part of the committee that stepped in to assure that this long-running community event could continue. She has been an active committee member of the Naracoorte P&A Society, working all year round on new ideas and logistics, as well as the huge task of setting up and then packing up the annual show. She was recently awarded the 2024 Rural Ambassador of the Naracoorte Show. Congratulations, Emma, and we would like to take this opportunity to ask you to respond if you can.
I'd like to thank the Council for putting on these awards. I feel very grateful to receive this award. I'm also grateful for the clubs I'm a part of, and I really enjoy helping out with the show, and I look forward to representing the show at the Regional Rural Ambassador Awards in April. Thank you. It is now with great pleasure that we present the Naracoorte Community Event of the Year Award to the Naracoorte Caves World Heritage Festival. The festival, held in November last year, was an outstanding success, with an estimated 800 to 1,000 people joining in the weekend celebrations for the 30th anniversary of the Naracoorte Caves UNESCO World Heritage listing. There was a full lineup of entertainment for the entire family, including informative talks, free guided tours, performances by the renowned singing paleontologist Professor Flint, and the 2024 Cave Run. Festival goers also enjoyed learning traditional basket weaving methods, watching the southern bent-wing bat live in the Bat Teleview Centre, indulging in delicious food and local wines, wandering through market stalls and listening to live music. As a precursor to the festival, a well-attended night of science was held at the Naracoorte Town Hall, giving people the opportunity to learn more about the recent research developments at both the Naracoorte Caves and the Riverslay Fossil Site in Queensland. Congratulations again to all involved with the Naracoorte Caves World Heritage Festival, and we invite a representative from the Caves to take this opportunity to respond if you'd like to.
Congratulations, Tom. I'm sure you can round up some words.
Yeah, sure.
My name's Tom Short. I'm the site manager out at the Naracoorte Caves. On behalf of the National Parks and Wildlife Service and staff at the Naracoorte Caves, I'd like to thank Council for this award and everyone else that was involved in the festival and organising it on the day. In particular, the Naracoorte Council staff that assisted. Without their help, the event wouldn't have been the success that it was. Of course, the Naracoorte Cave staff as well did a fantastic effort over the weekend. But lastly, I'd like to thank the Naracoorte community as well. These sorts of events don't happen if they're not well attended, and to have that number of people come out and actually take part in the festivities was fantastic. So big shout out to the Naracoorte community for coming out too. So thank you.
And now it is with great pleasure that we present the Naracoorte Certificate of Appreciation Awards to Glenn Matheson and Friends of the Naracoorte Cemetery Volunteer Group. Firstly, Glenn, please come forward to accept your award. Glenn is being recognized for over 45 years of contribution to the Naracoorte basketball, almost half a century. Matt, though, has worked tirelessly for the past 47 years to enable that players reach their full potential in basketball. He has coached and mentored teams and individuals at a local and state level, and has been awarded a life membership of Basketball SA in 2021. Congratulations, Glenn, and I invite you to take this opportunity to respond if you'd like to.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to thank the NDBA, the Naracoorte District Basketball Association, from all those people that started down in Market Square and had the car lights on, to developing a new stadium, which is now nearly 50 years old or so. I'd like to thank everyone that's volunteered through those sort of times. Also, I'd like to thank my family and friends. They've stayed true to me all the way through. I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Geraldine. Many of you would know her through the kindergarten setup. Years ago, we decided that we ourselves didn't want to necessarily have a family together, and she went down the teaching pathway, I went down the basketball pathway. So 40 to 50 years later, I think we've covered most of the kids in the district. So thanks very much for that. Also to the local committees that have served up the basketball and the people on those, you've done a great job and continue to do so. Well done. Thank you.
We would now like to invite representatives of the Friends of the Naracoorte Cemetery Volunteer Group to come forward and accept their award. The enthusiastic volunteer group met for the first time in July 2023 and started with tidying up the old monument section of the cemetery. They have achieved some incredible results since then, including clearing out the shrubs between the old monument section and the new lawn section. The council-run volunteer group meets every first Wednesday of every month, and after a break this month, they will meet for the first time in the new year at the start of February. Community-minded people with an interest in the Naracoorte Cemetery are always welcome to join this keen group, which has made an astounding contribution to the cemetery in a short space of time, and we're sure they will continue well into the future. Congratulations to all involved with the Friends of the Naracoorte Cemetery Volunteer Group, and we invite a representative from the group to take this opportunity to respond if they would like to.
Okay, this is congratulations everybody, and I think it's fantastic personally because we lay people to rest. Sometimes we forget about it. And you guys allow it to be good. So accept that. And someone to speak, please.
I have made notes. I do get carried away sometimes, so thank you, Mayor Ross. The Friends of the Cemetery thank the Naracoorte Lucindale Council for starting up this group. Jason Stanley, Dana and Crystal, who work with the volunteers, make the cemetery a safe workplace. To have staff as as competent and willing to work with volunteers is very much appreciated. Gives a better understanding of the work which takes place in the cemetery and the gardens. There are times that Stanza does roll his eyes. We do appreciate his patience when listening to the volunteers' banter. The Friends of the Naracoorte Cemetery are all like-minded carers. The cemetery is held with esteem and respect. Also a place we enjoy visiting, the resting place of dear friends and relatives. We care for those young and old, for those not visited for many months or years, and for those with no headstones as a sign of being in the cemetery. The volunteers make new friends and rekindle old, a sense of belonging in the community. The gardening we do at the cemetery is not a chore or a job. We look forward to the time well spent. We are very proud of the work we've done removing and pruning old shrubs, and we look forward to planting replacements this year. Thank you to those who nominated the Friends of the Naracoorte Cemetery for the recognition of our volunteer hours. And just an apology from those of us who are unable to attend this morning. Thank you.
That's a wonderful recognition. Many's the time when our loved ones die and are placed in a cemetery, people over time can tend to forget. And for these volunteers to ensure it's a beautiful place. Now, several pages. Thank you, one and all, for coming up here. If you could now move. They don't want to be sitting in the sun and withering. Thank you very much, and give them a round of applause. Thank you. It's now time for the citizenship ceremony. It now gives me great pleasure to invite to the stage the following people for our very special Australia Day citizenship ceremony. And the first is a family of three, and they're all coming up together. Everybody will be invited to come to the sound shell. Kami Lee Benlian Magapan, Julius Gemina Magapan, and Sarah Asher Benlian Magapan. That's one family. Yes, this way's fine. Also, Lauren Hazel Smart. I know she's here in a green dress. Michelle O'Loughlin. Offa Havolka, and he'll be coming up with his wife. And also, lastly, Bunrian Prokampa. Please come forward. Yeah. Australian citizenship ceremonies are an important part of our nation's celebrations, and this year, on Australia Day, thousands of people will become citizens at hundreds of ceremonies just like this one taking place around Australia. Today marks a special and important step in the lives of each of our conferees and for those sharing this occasion with you. I congratulate I congratulate all of you, lost my place. Here we go. No. I congratulate all of you for the commitment you have made to being a part of Australia's future. The federal member for Barker, Mr Tony Passon, unfortunately can't be here today, and he has asked me to read the following congratulatory message. Thank you for your generous invitation to this important citizenship ceremony, but unfortunately I am unable to join you owing to prior commitments elsewhere in the electorate. I would, however, like to welcome those applicants to whom citizenship is being conferred today. For them, this is a very special day, and I encourage each of them to enjoy the freedom and individuality that this great nation affords its citizens. Australian citizenship represents the commitment we have to Australia and its people and the common values we share. By becoming an Australian citizen today, each applicant joins a nation blessed by its Indigenous heritage, strengthened by its British foundations, and enriched by its immigrant character. Today, and indeed every day, I encourage you all, applicants and citizens alike, to celebrate what it means to be Australian, to work hard, to contribute to community, and share in a sense of mateship, belonging and prosperity. Congratulations again, yours sincerely, Tony Passon MP, Federal Member for Barker. The Minister for Home Affairs, Immigration and Multicultural Affairs, the Honourable Tony Burke MP, is also unable to be here today, but he has asked that I pass on his congratulations and best wishes and ask that I read the following message to you. Gladly, this is a shorter one than the previous Minister. In a few moments' time, Australia becomes an even better nation. When you make the citizenship pledge, you take on the privileges and responsibilities of Australian citizenship. From that moment, your journey and heritage will become part of our shared Australian story. We are privileged to share this beautiful country with First Nation Australians, the custodians of the world's oldest continuing culture. Appreciating and understanding this truth is a vital part of what it means to be Australian. Australia welcomes you as a full member of one of the most diverse nations on earth, where our citizenship is a bond which unites us all. Australia welcomes you and everything you bring to Australia. Today, your nation says to you, welcome home. Tony Burke. Becoming an Australian citizenship is a step that shows loyalty to Australia and the desire to share a common future. It is an honour to confer Australian citizenship to people who appreciate and value our society so much that they wish to become one of us and make Australia their home. I warmly congratulate our citizenship conferees today for taking the final step in their journey to become Australian citizens, and I look forward to seeing the contribution that each of you will make to Australia. We now turn to the formal part of the ceremony, which is conducted in accordance with the Australian Citizenship Act 2007. As part of the legal requirements for today's citizenship ceremony, I will read the preamble from Schedule 1 of the Australian Citizenship Regulation 2016. Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia, and Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians while respecting their diversity. Persons on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations by pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, by sharing their democratic beliefs, by respecting their rights and liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. I would now like to ask the conferees to come forward when I read out their names to say the pledge. Our first conferees are a family group of 3 now, I think, whose country of origin is the Philippines. You can all come up together and say the pledge as a group. The conferees are Kami Lee Benlian Magapan, Julius Jamina Magapan, and Sarah Asher Benlian Magapan. Please come up. And Sarah, as you are under the age of 16, you are not required to make the pledge. But you are more than welcome to make the pledge, and we'd love you to do that. So whatever you wish to do. Okay, and you can say this together. Okay. So please repeat this pledge line by line after me. From this time forward, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people.
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
Whose democratic beliefs I share.
whose democratic beliefs I share,
Whose rights and liberties I respect.
whose rights and liberties I respect,
And whose laws I will uphold and obey.
and to whose laws I will uphold and obey.
Yippee. You're here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yes.
And Sarah. Julie. Julius. Congratulations. Welcome. And Sarah. Congratulations. Ah, there we go. Lauren Hazel Smart, whose country of origin is England. Right, Lauren. Please repeat this pledge line by line after me. From this time forward,
From this time forward,
I'll turn the page. I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
Bingo.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Michelle O'Loughlin. Michelle's country of origin is the Philippines. Please repeat this pledge line by line after me. From this time forward, under God,
From this time forward, under God,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
Welcome. I'll now ask Ofa Afoka, whose country of origin is Tonga, to come forward. Please repeat this pledge line by line after me. Okay. From this time forward,
from this time forward,
under God,
under God,
I pledge my loyalty
I pledge my loyalty
to Australia and its people,
to Australia and its people,
whose democratic beliefs
his democratic beliefs
I share, whose rights and liberties
his right and liberties
I respect,
and
whose laws I will uphold and obey.
his law and
Whose laws I will uphold
I will uphold and
obey.
obey.
Wonderful. I'll now ask Bunrian Promkappa, whose country of origin is Thailand. Please come here. And you'll repeat after me, line by line. From this time forward, under God, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you go. One very excited woman to be one of us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our newest Australian citizens. Please stay there. Also, now that you've become Australian citizens, you have the right and responsibilities to vote, to elect federal, state and local governments, and in referendums. It is compulsory for all citizens over the age of 18 to enrol. This is called democracy, and not every country has a democracy like ours. This year, a federal election will be held before the end of May, and you must be enrolled to cast your vote. In your new citizen pack, you will find a sheet entitled Electoral Enrolment for New Citizens. By scanning the QR code on this sheet, you will be directed to the Australian Electoral Commission's website, where you can enrol to vote. Please make sure you enrol as soon as possible. Then, remember to vote, as voting is compulsory for federal and state elections and referendums in Australia. Now that we have all witnessed Australia's newest citizens make their public pledge of commitment, I would like to invite everyone to participate in an Australian citizenship affirmation ceremony. The Australian citizenship affirmation was introduced in 1999 and has become an integral part of the Australia Day celebrations. The words of the affirmation are based on the pledge we have just witnessed our new citizens make. Participation is voluntary and carries no legal status. Participation in an affirmation ceremony is a means of expressing our pride in being Australian and provides an opportunity to affirm our loyalty to Australia and its people. Words of the affirmation can be found at the back of your program. Everyone is welcome to participate. Non-citizens are invited to join the affirmation at the second line. All stand, please. If you can. So you can repeat after me. As an Australian citizen, I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, and whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I uphold and obey. Thank you for your participation and congratulations to our new citizens, and congratulations to you too. Alex.
Thank you to everyone who attended today's celebrations, and that concludes the formalities for our Australia Day ceremony. Please join us once again in congratulating our Australia Day award winners and our newest Australian citizens.
Thank you to Alice, Alberta and Elijah for sharing the Master of Ceremonies role for the celebrations this morning. I believe this is their first official task as student leaders of the Naracoorte High School. Well done and all the best for the new year. We'll do that in a minute. For those looking to continue the Australia Day celebrations, Council are putting on a free family-friendly outdoor movie at the Naracoorte Swimming Lake this afternoon. The movie If will be screening at the lake from 3:30 today. I can't think of a better place to watch a movie later today. Bring along a picnic blanket or chair and enjoy the movie. Can I also ask all of our Australia Day award winners to please gather for professional photographs with family and friends before heading home. Thank you once again for your attendance today and enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Australia Day.